Morning all, welcome to another episode of Savanna Stay-at-Home Safaris. So super excited to head out this morning. We actually heard lions calling from the lodge, so that's definitely going to be the game plan for the morning, and we hope luck is on our side. Head out and see if we can get some tracks, find out if they in the reserve or not. So stoked, so excited to come across the Hmonggai Pride this morning, and we've just had a look around and seen that the otter male's missing. So Ali's actually shot around. We did have audio, we could hear him roaring, we could hear him calling in the distance, and Ali's driven around, and hopefully he is actually in the area as well. But as we can see, the rest of the pride certainly is here, and all looking healthy, all looking well. So just having a look at some of their stomachs, some of their tummies, they've definitely eaten something recently, but I'm sure it wasn't anything big. They would still be on the carcass if it was a buffalo or a big wildebeest or something. They certainly have fed recently. Always a good sign to sort of get an idea of what they've been up to in the last few days just by looking at their stomachs. And there certainly looks like there is a bit of food inside there. Besides having a look at the stomach to see what they've been up to, see if they've eaten recently, we're also keeping a close eye on some of these adult females here, and there's a very good chance that all three are pregnant. So looking for signs of swollen belly, and then the mammalia glands as well is often a dead giveaway if they've actually got cubs or about to have cubs. And you're looking around the teats really to see if there's any signs of suckle marks, and like we say, swollen mammalia glands is a dead giveaway. And we're assuming that that three of these females are actually pregnant. So a little bit tricky to see today in the long grass, but it certainly is something we're keeping our eye on and certainly excited about. So besides all those sort of visual signs of the mammalia glands and the teats, if we look back at our recordings, at our records, we've actually recorded that the male was mating with one of the females. It would have been the otter male, and that was about two and a half months ago, and that gestation period being, 90 to 110 days, I think they call it. We call it 3 months. So it's about that time. So if our recordings are right, it certainly is something to get excited about. Right, so as that sun gets higher, their heads start getting lower, and sadly no signs of that male, no signs of that otter male joining them. So we'll probably follow up in the afternoon, and hopefully he's made an appearance, and we'll leave this pride to have their morning rest. So just left those lines and came around the corner, and we've come across this elephant bull here. Definitely mature male. Wear and tear on the tusks there, nice thick tusks. Indentations on the forehead, also a sign that we often can tell that it's an aged elephant. He's feeding at the base of this tree here, which is a torchwood, and we're just hoping that he's actually going to give this tree a good shake to get some of the seed pods to fall down, and it appears as if that's what he's feeding on. So you can just see how dexterous that trunk actually is. I think a few episodes back one of our questions were how many muscles are in that trunk. So 40,000 muscles all working together there, and it can pick up something as small as a peanut, and of course it also has the power to literally pull that tree over. So some beautiful little blue waxbills we're looking at there. A small interesting fact about the waxbills is they often make their nests next to or near wasps' nests. So one of the reasons could be to deter other predators away from the nest. Nothing like digging around an angry wasp's nest. And the other thing could be wasps also eat and prey on other small irritating insects that could sort of keep the nest clean as well. So just an interesting little fact there about the nesting behavior of these little blue waxbills. A nice troop of baboons in the clearings foraging there. It's not often we get close to them. They're often quite shy, quite skittish. So always good to spend a bit of time with our fellow primates. Quite a lot going on in this little patch here. We saw the baboons foraging down on the ground in the clearings earlier, and now we've come across what seems to be the lookouts. A couple of the older baboons, certainly looks like a big male up in the tree, no doubt as a lookout. And then also beautiful sighting of a whiteback vulture and a subadult bateleur. So a nice bird of prey next to the whiteback vulture there. So we're back at it again for this afternoon safari, and a great start. Just come across this watering hole, and we've got some hippo activity behind us here, and of course beautiful breeding herd of elephants come down for an afternoon drink as well. So we've had the camera on them, and we've been watching the herd of elephants for about 10-15 minutes, and quite unusual, they haven't actually had a drink yet. So it appears as if they're just listening, watching, waiting, not sure why, but you can see the small ones there, possibly getting a little bit impatient and just making use of getting a bit of wallowing and a bit of a mud moth in the meantime. I just wanted to show you guys, just talk a little bit about this russet bush willow seed pod here. I think it was Neil the other day was talking about a devil's thorn and how that seed is dispersed with actually getting stuck into a horse's hoof. And this one's quite interesting because this seed pod, it actually has what's referred to as wings on the side here. I don't know if you can sort of see that, and those wings obviously enable it to sort of float or glide, if you want, in the wind. So this seed pod is dispersed via wind. So we've got Tisela and Hlambela here, the two leopards that have come from the boldest female, and just by looking at them, possibly had a kill, had a feed, belly's looking a bit full, and obviously come down to the watering hole to have a drink, which is quite common once these predators have had a meal, have had a feed, is to head to water. So we hope that they actually do have a kill in the area. So Tisela seems to have moved off into the thicker stuff, and as the sun's going down, we're probably going to leave the male here resting at the dam wall. Just what a fantastic sighting in that afternoon light. And we've still got those lions to think about that we saw this morning, so that'll be a good plan to maybe see if there's a bit of activity with that Hmonggai Pride. What we're looking at there is mating hippos. So certainly something I haven't seen very often, and quite obviously the mating is done in the water, and 9 months later, quite a short gestation period for a big animal like a hippo, but 9 months later the female will give birth out of the water. So mating is done in the water, as we're seeing behind us there, and the female will then give birth out of the water. So luckily this afternoon the lions were easier to find. They pretty much haven't moved from where we left them this morning, and no doubt that's because of those full bellies we spoke about. Definitely had a meal quite recently, and no need for them to move about and waste energy when you've got a full belly. So we've been sat with them for a good part of an hour now, and as we were saying, with them having those full bellies, it doesn't look like they've got any plans to get up and get active. Certainly not immediately. So nice to see him relaxing, digesting, and maybe tomorrow morning, in the cool of the morning, they'll look to get active again. Well, folks, just a fantastic way to end off what's been another incredible day out here in the Sabi Sands, sitting here with the Hmonggai Pride, and thanks for watching, and we're going to see you next time.